Hey, what's up you guys? I'm Sarah Labrat and today we are going to be doing a mid-year goal check-in. In January of 2021, I decided to go through and make myself a list of goals that I had for the year. And now that we are at the start of July, I wanted to look back on the first 6 months of 2021 and kind of check in and see how I'm doing on my goals and see what I still need to do in the next 6 months to achieve the goals that I set for myself. The goals that I set were across a variety of topics, including but not limited to reading, writing, YouTube, Instagram, working out, etc. We're covering a lot of topics today. For my goal setting this year, I actually decided to do a tiered goal system that I first saw Angela Ann using. That is the good, better, best system, where the bottom tier, the good goal, is fairly achievable. You'll be really happy if you hit it, though. The better goal will be a little bit harder to hit, but is still a goal to strive for. And if you hit that, then you're really excited. And then if you hit the best goal, that is like absolutely incredible, absolutely amazing. You're stoked. And so far, I think those goals have gone pretty well for me, but I'm going to get into that in just a second. If you go on to enjoy this video, I would really appreciate it if you could give it a big thumbs up because it really supports my channel by telling the YouTube algorithm that you liked my video and that someone else might too. I also want to hear from you guys down in the comments below how you are doing for your 2021 goals. If you're on track to hit them, if you've already hit them, I would love to hear an update from you guys down in the comments. So last year, 2020, was the first year that I had ever set a word intention for my year. And then because the pandemic hit, I decided that word opportunity to also be my word intention for 2021. And let's just say that that has worked very well so far. So my first goal for 2021 was writing. My good, better, best system for this writing goal was for good, finishing book 1 of DE, for great, finishing book 1 of DE and starting to query, and best, finishing book 1 of DE, starting to query and drafting an entirely new story. Something that I find really funny now that we're 6 months into 2021 is how I didn't give myself an option to not finish DE this year. That was interesting. It was interesting for sure. When January came around this year, I was still working on draft 3 of my high fantasy project, which I call Project DE. And then I finished draft 3 either late February or early March. And then on March 15th, I sent DE out to beta readers. So I had already done the draft 3 and the beta reading step. And then I got my beta feedback back at the beginning of May, and I started to look over people's comments, and then I started draft 4. So I'm currently on draft 4 of DE, which is amazing. However, I also think that draft 4 is going to require a lot of work, and DE will probably need 1 or 2 drafts after draft 4 at the very least, so that it is readable and I can send it out to another round of beta readers to see if it is any closer to being published. So I don't know if I'm gonna be able to hit that goal of wanting to finish book 1 of DE before the end of the year. I still have 6 months, but the amount of work that's gonna need to go into this thing to finish it, I'm not 100% I'm gonna be able to finish that by the end of the year. I am hopeful and I have my fingers crossed for sure, but I'm not 100% confident that I'm going to be able to finish draft 4, maybe do draft 5, send it out to beta readers, get it back, and then evaluate before the end of the year. So I do think that's really funny that I was so confident in December when I was setting these goals that DE for sure was going to be done. I have wanted DE to be done for a while. However, it's a long process to write a book. But as a part of my best goal, I did say that I wanted to draft an entirely new story, whether that was going to be book 2 of DE, CBH, or something else entirely. And while DE was with beta readers in March and April, I did spend like 32 days drafting the first draft of CBH, which is a high fantasy story that I've been thinking about for a long time now and have been really wanting to work on. I drafted 50,000 words of that story in 32 days. Granted, the story is not completely finished or anything. I got a solid chunk of draft 1 done, and there's still an opportunity for me to finish that draft before the year is out. So I would say that all things considered, my writing goal is going very well so far. My second goal was my reading goal, and my good, better, best goals for this one was good would be reading 6 books, 4 of them being nonfiction books, better being 12 books, also 4 of them being nonfiction books, and best being 20 books, and still having 4 nonfiction books included in that. I am currently sitting at 9 books for the year, which is technically just 1 under where I need to be to hit my 20 goal for the year. I I have already passed my good goal for reading this year, which is awesome. However, I've only done 2 nonfiction books, which I'll get to in a second, but I've already passed 6 books for the year. So that's solid at the very least. I think a huge help for this goal was starting the year out with a book club with Brooke Wrights and Angela Ann, that we reread the A Court of Thorns and Roses series leading up to the release of A Court of Silver Flames. So that was automatically 5 books in the first 2 months of this year. I read half of the 4-Hour Work Week because I kind of got to the point in the audiobook where he was talking about how to really apply the things that he had been talking about earlier, and I'm not currently at the place where I need all of the specifics within that book. So I'm kind of counting this as a book read, even though I didn't completely finish it, because I don't think that where I'm at currently I need to finish the entire book, but it would be good to know for potential future reference. So I didn't count that in the 9 books that I've read so far, so if you count that, I'm at 10. But I kind of think I'm at like 9.5 books read so far. I also read The Shadows Between Us, Set Boundaries, Find Peace, which was my second nonfiction book of the year, From Blood and Ash, A Kingdom of Flesh and Fire, and then I'm currently reading the 3rd book in that series, which is A Crown of Gilded Bones. And so I'm at like 9.5 books read so far for 2021, so I would say I'm doing very, very good with this goal. I do want to finish reading A Crown of Gilded Bones and Kingdom of Ash before I like go out and buy myself new books. However, I do think that I'm going to reward myself with new books when I finally finish Kingdom of Ash, because that book came out like almost 3 years ago and I still have not finished it. I'm like halfway done with it. I just haven't like actually like sat down to finish reading it and get to the end and just like finish it. But for when I do finish that book, I have a couple books in mind that I'm hoping to go out and buy. My 3rd goal was an education goal because I'm no longer in college, but I want to continue to learn. And so my goal for this for 2021 did not have a good, better, best system in place, but the goal was to complete 4 classes, master classes, or certifications in 2021. I have taken N.K. Jemison's masterclass on science fiction and fantasy writing and Margaret Atwood's masterclass on creative writing, and I made videos about both of them. And so I'm halfway to that goal, so I would say that I'm doing very, very well right now. I'm not 100% sure which 2 other classes or certifications or masterclasses that I want to do in the next 6 months of 2021, but I'm sure I'll figure it out. My 4th goal was YouTube, and while I talked about this in my 2021 goals video, I know that I cannot control the subscriber count or the view count, but I can work on my energy that I put into this. However, I did think that it would be fun because last year in 2020, I underestimated so much with my sub goal that I just wanted to put it out there and give it a good, better, best goal and just kind of see what I hit within the year of 2021. My good goal for YouTube for 2021 was 5,000 subscribers. As of filming this video on July 4th, I am currently sitting at 4,984 subscribers, which means that I am only 16 subscribers away from my good goal for the year. So that being said, that's awesome. And I have no doubt that I will hit 5,000 then by the end of the year if I'm only 16 away. So if I'm almost at 5,000, I think that my better goal of 7,500 is quite attainable. And again, I know that I'm not in control of that. You guys are amazing. You guys have been doing great. And sharing and liking my videos really, really helps me with that. So thank you guys so much. You guys are awesome. So I think that 7,500 I will be able to hit no problem. And if things go really, really well and I put out some really good videos in the next 6 months, I might even be able to get upwards of my best goal, which is 10,000. I don't know. Again, I know that I'm not in control of the sub count or the view counts, but I'm hopeful. It's fun to set goals like that and just see where I land at the end of the year. Okay, so this one's kind of interesting. My 5th goal is Instagram. My goal for the year was 5,000. I did not set up a good, better, best system for this one. I was like, yep, flat 5,000 followers on Instagram, which is like fine, but I haven't been posting to Instagram frequently. I think I haven't posted in like a solid month and a half other than to my story, and that was pretty much just reposting memes. So as of filming this video, I am sitting at 1,732 followers on Instagram and started the year at 1,435. So I'm only up 300 followers since the beginning of the year. But now going into July and hopefully the next several months and then the next 6 months, I am hoping to post to Instagram more consistently, as well as starting to post reels and just kind of seeing where that gets me. It would be really cool to get to 5,000 Instagram followers. I'm not not 100% sure that's gonna happen, but if I really applied myself, I think I could. We're kind of going off topic now, but my 6th goal for 2021 was a fitness goal, and my good goal for this one was being able to run a mile without walking. My better goal was to be able to run a mile in under 10 minutes, and my best goal was to sign up and compete in a race that was at least a 5K. I have not been able to run a full mile without walking yet. My cardiovascular strength is getting a lot better, so I'm definitely getting closer to being able to accomplish something like this. And so I'm definitely on the right path. I'm very excited about my progress and how I'm doing. I don't think it's super likely that I'm going to sign up for a 5K by the end of the year, but I'm hopeful that like maybe next year I'll be able to do a 5K or something. So I definitely think that my good and better goals are going to happen this year. I just don't see myself signing up for a race right now, which is why I'm kind of not thinking the best one is gonna happen, but there's still 6 months of 2021, so who knows? I don't remember which number goal I'm on right now, but my next goal was trying to do something new every 2 weeks to get out and explore the area that I was in. This is going great, especially within like the last month or so, because I'm now living in Salt Lake City, and so I'm going out and hiking at least twice a week, and so I'm doing plenty of this, and I'm in a new city and I'm exploring, so not at all worried about this goal. My next goal was an art goal, and I wanted to do at least 4 paintings and 2 drawings this year, just because I had no idea what I would be up to or what my time constraints would be. I wanted to keep this very low, but I did want to accomplish some art this year, and so far I believe I've done 2 paintings, one of them which was inspired by my project CBH, which I was going to make a video about and I filmed for and everything, but the painting ended up not turning out what I wanted it to look like in my head, and so I ended up never posting that footage. This is what my hands look like when I'm done. I have paint on both my feet and my legs, but this is where the painting currently stands. I think I'm gonna make some tweaks to it later because it didn't really turn out how I wanted it to, but I needed to dry first. But I made that painting, and then I made one other painting with the leftover paint from my CBH painting. Okay, so with my leftover paint, I actually ended up making another painting, and I like this one a lot more. The green and purple shows up a lot more vibrantly in person. And then I don't know if you can count this or not, but I painted and then like hot glued a bunch of fake leaves to a piece of paper that I put on a plywood piece that was attached to one of my mirrors to cover up like the ugly plywood, because I bought the mirror on sale because I thought that I could remove the plywood, to find out that you can't remove the plywood. And so I just covered up with something pretty, and I would consider that to be a creative art project. So I want to count that, but it's definitely like not a painting or a drawing, but I'm gonna count that. So I'm at 3 art pieces for the year. It was also more crafty than like true art and creativity, but it was so much fun to do that I'm counting it. Something that I wanted to do with my goals for 2021 was check in monthly to see how I was doing, and I think I made a recap and goals video in February, and then I moved things over to my YouTube community tab where I would update you guys on what I had accomplished in the previous month and what my monthly goals for the next month were. And I think I did that for every month except the border between May and June. But that's also because I was moving and had a lot of things going on. So I would say that I've done very well with that, all things considered. And then a couple of other goals, but like not goals that I had for the year, contain starting my new job. I did that. Things are going well. Wanting to move. I did that. I moved from Fort Worth to Salt Lake City in June, and that was a whole headache, and I've talked a lot about that. I wanted to start meeting new people. I did that, especially after moving. Things have gone very, very well. And I wanted to start a new book project and continue working on YouTube. I know that I had writing and YouTube goals specifically, but that was something that I really, really wanted to do, and I've done that. And so other than wanting to continue to work towards these yearly goals, I also want to add a couple shorter term goals for the next couple of months. And those things include wanting to find a new routine and schedule and kind of figure out what my life looks like living in Salt Lake City, what my routines look like with writing, reading, exploring, all of that fun stuff, kind of just like what my day-to-day life looks like, because I haven't totally figured that out yet. Continuing to explore Utah and visiting some of the national parks, and starting to work on learning French again. I know that these are not like SMART goals because they don't have time limits and they don't have actual attainable things. They're more things that I would like to try and apply to my life as much as possible. So with that, I think that's gonna be it for me today, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Sarah Labrat. I would love to hear from you guys down below in the comments on how your goals for 2021 are going and what your goals are moving into the next 6 months. If you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate it if you could give it a big thumbs up, because it really supports my channel by telling the YouTube algorithm that you liked my video and that someone else might too. If this is somehow your first video that you are finding of mine and you enjoyed it and want to see more like it from me, make sure you scroll down below, hit that big red subscribe button and that little notification bell next to it, because I am currently currently posting videos twice a week, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!